Good morning, afternoon, evening, dear Okaidan fans, and welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited at the moment, and so is Michael, because of that sketch and the meaning. And we're going to carry on our journey with those new pieces of information and documents. And this video is really amazing, the one I'm going to shoot. Maybe I do two. If it's too long, I will cut into two parts, and if not, let's go. The title of this video could be "Getting to the Vault." How do we get to the vault without putting a nuclear weapon on the island and make it blow, making sure that nothing remains? How do we smartly get to the vault? How do the people who build that system left clues to enter the vault without damaging anything? And tend to have proofs that people went in there in the past decades or centuries and went out. I could have called also this video "What is La Hampe?" from the La Formule, because now it's clear what it is, how you use it, where is it. So I'm going to show you that in this video also. And finally, we're gonna see that La Formule document is fully decoded now and full of meaning from the beginning to the end, and we still have doubt. So bear with us. Here we go. So this is where I left you. I left you with this picture. Let me zoom to 100% here. With this picture, which is the puzzle assembly of several parchments and what seems to be old document with instruction that were teared down by time and water and very damaged. And I think it's Donald Roux who made this sketch here with a piece of pen and paper. And I can tell you, I've been studying this very closely. It is remarkably close to the drawing, down to each detail of what we can find on the drawing. So this is reliable to work on. We don't have to use the old blurry picture of the parchments. One thing first is that this picture is reversed to our intuition. You see here on the left, that's Smith's Cove. That's where the water comes in. So that's the east of the island, but it's on the left of the drawing. And here, this is therefore, by deduction, the west part of the island. And you have to acquaint your brain with thinking reverse compared to what you usually look at the island from above, from Google Earth, from those point of views. Here you're at north and you're looking at south, and this is what you see. So that was one first precision. So what I'm going to explain you is that there are two configurations within which you can find the system when you arrive on the island. Configuration 1 is that the whole system is armed but are not been activated yet, and there is a specific guide, a specific step-by-step for this. And the configuration 2 is that the trap has been triggered as it is today, and there's another set of instruction, which is very interesting because I come to think now that we have a lot of documents at hand, La Formule, La Rochefoucauld map, Zina Halpern's document, this new piece of parchment I shared. And the question is, were they all done by the same people at the same time for the same purpose, and they just overlap each other? And I tend to believe that no, there are several eras when those documents were created for different reasons. I believe chronologically the first one was La Formule, because this is what you get when the trap is not activated. So the trap is armed but not triggered. The Smith Cove tunnels would feed water whether you uh, uh, trigger the system or not. So the water would constantly and permanently be in that section. Excuse me. The reason it doesn't go up is because, remember, this is filled with soil and dirt on the one hand, and I remember a description of those floors being, some of them, at clay to guarantee some waterproof. So the pressure of water that's trying to go up to the same level of the ocean, which is a couple of meters and tens of feet, is blocked by itself. All those layers, some of them's been sealed, and you get some dirt on some of them, exerting some weight to counteract. So this is why it's not flooded by default because of the pressure. But of course, if you start removing some soil, removing weight, removing material, and that's the description in the Lunenburg Chronicles, the water slowly starts to infiltrate from above, slowly and more and more and more and more, because it doesn't have the counter pressure. So in this scenario, the system is armed but not trigger. Therefore, the water is here. And because of that gate here that's down, the water doesn't go any further. And whatever water is remaining in the tank, in the reservoir, it would be flushed out here to the right-hand side. Maybe, and we get back to this, the E and F traps have got their play, or there is an aboiteau. I think there's an aboiteau at the end that would use the low tide to suck the water, remaining water out, and it will be used later if we want to disengage the system. And in this scenario, it is La Formule that gives the step-by-step. Let's see. La Formule, you know, this document coded, same coding as the 90-foot stone, got translated into French first, and that's the text if you do the substitution of the cipher, and that's my proposed translation. My proposed translation is stop, do not move earth, from the verb terrer, which is obscure, but I think that's what I mean. So you arrive at the money pit location that you get from La Rochefoucauld map, for instance, and from Michael's computations for another stance. Maybe the 90-foot stone is a initiating step-by-step geometric introduction to where the money pit is. Anyways, you get to the money pit and you're instructed not to dig there. Do not move earth. Instead, go at 45-degree angle from north. And the reason I wrote to dot this morning, it should be negative 45 degrees, right? Because you're going on the left from the true north. That's what we found to get the most interest and corroborates many other hints we have. But if you instruct 45 degrees, you'd be tempted to go to your right-hand side naturally, 45, 90, 180, etc. I checked it, and if you want to go 522 feet with a positive 45-degree angle, you end up in the ocean. So there's no way you can place 422 feet at the 45-degree angle from true north going on the right-hand side of the true north. You would end up in the ocean. So the same with the, by the way, same with all 45 degrees. You go to the Smith Cove part of the ocean or the south part of the ocean. So the only 45 degrees that allows you to go anywhere with 422 feet is the negative 45-degree angle. So from the money pit, you take 45-degree angle negative to the left from the true north. And at 40 feet from the money pit, 37 modern feet, you dig. And you don't have to dig very, very deep. You will find most likely something there right away. So the money pit is at the same time a decoy and at the same time a useful column of water for hydraulic pressure needs. So you move, you go there at 40 feet, and then the text says, translated, there is a pole at 522 feet from you, or to you, depends from who's looking at who, the subject and the object, to you, from you. From that pole, which you're not instructed to do anything with, and we'll see why in a second, you then enter a corridor. So you've just been into some kind of tunnel, going down, you cross that pole location, you identify the pole, and then you enter, and I believe something, you have to turn there, you enter a corridor. Corridor would be more of a something with paintings, with maybe engravement, and yeah, maybe some statues, something prestigious, a corridor, instead of just a dirt tunnel. And at 1065 feet, you will reach the vault. That's what it says. Let's try to apply this to our model. So please have a look and pay attention here at the top. On purpose, from this picture, where this B point and that service tunnel, let's call it this way, the brancard, that's what it is. The service tunnel here has got that angle and length. Now be careful. All this on this drawing is a schematic. It explains you the functions of what's happening. Nothing's to scale, nothing at the right place. Nothing is going straight line. This could be twisted and have bends and go up and down. You never know. This is just the schematic. So from the schematic, just for help us understanding, I will raise artificially this thing that is, mind you, 1,500 feet long. So yes, I think it's near the surface, definitely. It is not far away from the surface, at 40 feet from the main shaft. And let's take the first instruction. Stop, do the move the earth from the money pit. Dig at 40 feet, so I'm going 40 feet on the 45-degree angle direction. The only one possible to me is the negative 45 from the north. And I'm digging there, and I will find a void, a cavity, that will slowly go in the negative 45 degrees. So that's what, 275 plus, that's 315 degrees if you're a sailor from north, 315. And you're going down slowly down to the middle of the earth. So that's the first instruction. Find that tunnel, service tunnel. The second instruction is you have the pole at 522 feet to you. So I'm going down, and la hampe, the pole, which we really didn't know what it was, you're going down and you find that pole. And that pole is a valve that will act at the bottom part. If you look at the original picture, it is closing that section of the tunnel here. And you get enough room at the top to raise it or lower it, to block it or let the flow happen. So at 522 feet, you reach a piece of pole, big piece of pole, that you're not asked to operate it because it's at the right position at the moment in this scenario where the system is free of use. It is not booby-trapped. The pole is at the bottom position. You just walk around, I guess, the tip of the pole and enter the corridor, which is a second section that is not detailed as a second section, but you really have one tunnel section and one corridor section later, right? If we look at dot to dots, that's dot to dots picture I kind of stole with his permission. If we look at this, so that would be, like trying to do 3D from top view and then from cross view. Dot to dot calculated the money pit entrance here at the bottom compared to where they're looking for here on top. Calculation made by south anchor, rectangle, and computation from the elements we have. And from long time, we know that where they're looking for is offset or where we believe the money pit is. But anyways, you don't have to dig the money pit. If you dig to the money pit, nothing will happen. You have to move that distance. And some past video of his depicted that 522 pink at 45 degree from true north, negative 45 degree from true north, reaching what we call commonly in our videos the 45 degree, 522 feet point. And from there, you get exactly 1,600, but I get back to this, feet to the second point. But this is the representation on the Google Earth map of what the map suggests here. 40 feet from the money pit, you start your journey. Now you're going to tell me, if you start your journey 40 feet from the money pit and you get 522 feet to go, that's 562 feet. So your point here should be 20 feet beyond. Well, I calculated, it depends on the slope. When they say 422 feet, is it what you get to walk underneath the tunnel, counting your pace and counting the number of steps you do? Or is that the metric distance on the surface? Because your angle of penetration into the ground is going to play a role with the cosinus, if you wish, of calculation. And I did those computation, and funny enough, I took a 5-degree slope from the beginning on a distance total of 1587, which is the total distance, and I got exactly 40 feet. So if it's a 5-degree angle slope, that would compensate for I'm starting at 40 feet. And as I'm digging, because of the slope angle, I need to walk more than on the surface to reach the same point. And the compensation for 1587 feet at 5-degree angle, which is like my imagination to me, what about 5 degrees? That's an acceptable slope to go down. That gives exactly 40 feet compensation. So that's instruction number one. Or sorry, number two. You find the pole, and then you enter that corridor. Oh, by the way, yeah. La rampe. Oh my gosh. Yes. So we finally understand what la rampe is. I mean, we've been through dictionaries many times. People have been saying it's a pole, it's a shaft, it's a weapon, it's a whatever. We understand now. La rampe is a pole with, at the bottom, you can see that tip. Um, it's a valve. It blocks the water, and it's a long piece of rod. That's why they call it in French la rampe, like la rampe of a halberd, of a long pike for a weapon. That's what it is. It's a long pike. And just to remind you that again, that's the shape on the right hand side of that rampe. And when you take La Rochefoucauld map and you overlay the first activities we did with dot to dot at the time, what happened is that we found the 45,522 was perfectly aligned with that shape, that pike. And I remember myself telling Michael some 3, 4 months ago, this looks like a spear. And the hump would be the pole of the spear, the rod, and then you would have the spearhead. That's what my imagination. Whereas this one was more of an arrow or a bolt from a crossbow. But that one is the hump. It's here. And it indicates exactly where it is by crossing those points and identifying on the map. The 45,522 point that Michael identified and that links with Erin's theory is the location of your hump here. But to access it, you must start your journey near the money pit. Okay, so now we fully understand what la hump is. Let's carry on our journey. So we enter the corridor, next instruction from La Formule. You enter the corridor, and at 1065 feet, you reach the vault. Yes, if we follow this drawing, you reach the vault. And the vault is in the right position. Let's have a look. The vault here is at the bottom. There is no water because this is closed, and this is the way we find it when it's been armed but not triggered. And that whole vault lays on 2 pillars or some type of pillars here, several pillars. And because there's no water for buoyancy, it just lays on its weight on those poles, meaning that the entry is open here at point G. There's a point G there. I just discovered this as I'm talking to you. I was wondering what that little bubble was. I understand now. It's the letter G because we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G instructions. And at this configuration level, I can enter, see the hampe, enter the corridor, another 1,065 feet, and it's open. I can enter and crawl down this vault, which is pretty big, it seems. Okay, so let's go back to our slides. Enter the corridor, and on dot to dot overlay on Google Earth, that's that huge arrow there. That's that distance, 1,065 ancient feet, or that number in modern feet, right? So that's exactly the distance you need to reach one side of the vault, exactly as the picture here shows. So it's very interesting. The next slide. Well, I think I got a double slide here. Just just a recap, and I will finish this video because it's already 18 minutes. I'll make another video for the second case, the configuration where the trap has been activated, which is the case at the moment. But the conclusion here is that, okay, there's always been water underneath, right? Always. And it's not allowed to go back up because of the weight and of the seal that they made here. You break the seal, you remove the weight, the water will go back up. But it doesn't matter because there's nothing in that money pit. You can dig to the center of the earth, you won't find anything vertically. This is just a decoy used also on its lower part as a duct for bringing water to that chamber. But if you discover the system and it's untouched, then as per La Formula's instruction, which are very straightforward, 4 instructions, you find that B thing which is near the surface, you go down that shaft, you walk until the hump, you don't care about it, it's in the right position, don't even try to open it, bloody hell, don't touch anything in there. Don't be curious, just follow the instruction, because if you're too curious and you want to touch that thing, oh my gosh, you might end up drawn, so forget it. So just now you get a corridor with an angle, and the angle between the corridor and the main shaft is shown by here at that point where you find the hump, and that's where your angle, your bend shows. and the hump is there at the bottom, and you just go to the vote, which is exactly placed in front of your eyes. So if you don't do anything stupid and you get La Formule instruction, which is probably the most ancient instruction because the creators left that system like this. If you don't do anything crazy, if you get the instruction, well, it takes you what? Maybe that point B is what? 3, 6 feet, 10 feet down the ground? I doubt it's 40 feet down the ground. And you find it easily in 1 hour digging, and you just go in there, do your shopping, come back and put that piece of soil. Very clever. But if you if you manage to trigger the system, I'm gonna go to the second video. We're already 20 minutes, so there'll be in the second video right away. I'm gonna record it now for what to do in case the thing is flooded. Incredible. So as a promise, yeah, what is La Rampe? I explain what is La Rampe fully now. And La Formule is fully decoded. We used it step by step, and it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense that they almost self-corroborate and self-prove each other. La Formule without the sketch, you don't understand what you're doing. And this sketch explains La Formule to the point that this sketch is real. That the formula applies. Either both of them are fake, but if one of them is not fake, the other one just describes graphically what you find on La Rampe. It did just cross match. That's beautiful. Thanks for watching, and I'll shoot the second video right away. You take care. Bye bye.